There was a time not so long ago when Moses and God would speak face to face. As the Torah was being transmitted, they quickly realized that in order for Moses to not miss one syllable of God's recitation, they would need to sit incredibly close. They spent their days immersed in the back and forth of complex Talmudic argument, gazing into each other's eyes and examining each other's faces. They sat so very close, like a baseball manager about to scream at an umpire about to blow a call. They were so intensely focused on each other's faces, each could see the faint lines that would develop in each other's foreheads when they were trying to understand a particularly difficult section of the Torah. The learning was a boisterous affair, but occasionally they would sit quietly, looking into the face of the other, searching for a hint at the answer. There was a lingering silence, and then suddenly God's mouth would tilt upward, a slight smile indicating that Moses had finally understood. There was nothing, and then there was the light of insight. It was very good. Moses had always known what it felt like to be seen. As a baby, his sister watched him float down the Nile River. And growing up, he knew the scrutiny that came with being raised in a political family. For God, the feeling of being watched was novel. To see Moses' eyes penetrate directly into God's soul, God could not help but become emotional. So long ago, God had contracted to make space for a world to come into being. God quietly observed as humans struggled to make that world their home. God looked on like an anxious new parent as the Israelites were born through the sea. And now, to be able to sit face to face with that man Moses was almost too much to bear. Weeks after his 40-day encounter with God, Moses was awakened by a sliver of light that seeped through the flap of his tent. After many weeks of anxiety, fear, and anger, Moses had begun to lose track of the days. When was evening? When was morning? In the time of the plague, few moments felt normal. Okay, let's see here. Which email did I leave that meeting link in? Oh, here it is. Okay, good. Got to put a waiting room in. Very sensible.
Hello, Moses? Can you hear me okay?
Hi, yes, God, I see you. I hear you. You don't have to yell. And for some reason, the camera's tilted where I can just see like the top of your head and one of your eyes. So you're just supposed to look into it normally.
You would think it would be a little bit easier for me to use this technology. I mean, the Apple computer, a little on the nose, don't you think?
God, when can I come back to visit you? It's been weeks. Nothing made me happier than when we debated the minimum height of a sukkah or the status of forbidden mixtures. When we sat together, I knew that I was doing something that had meaning, that had purpose. Right now, everything feels so empty.
Oh, Moses, have you not heard? We can't be face to face like that again. Anyone who sees my face within 6 feet will surely die.
Are you sure about that? I mean, you can't always trust where you get your news. I know everyone's saying this Dr. Fauci is a god, but you are God. Oh, God, you have to unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry, Moses, it's true. No one can see my face and live. If we were to get together, we would probably both have to wear face masks. You couldn't see my face anyway. But even so, it's probably best that you stay there and I work from here.
God, this is not how we planned this journey. You told me that you would be with me every step of the way. You told me you would help me lead these people.
And of course, I still will.
But how can I from here, with the spotty Wi-Fi? When I try to speak to the Israelites from down here, they're always opening up other web browsers. They're turning off their cameras, and I have no idea if they're still there. I feel like I'm just shouting into a void.
I shouted into the void and created a whole new world. Who knows what will happen when you shout?
But God, how will we know what is right if we're not close to you? We've only survived because we've been near to you.
Did I stand before Pharaoh? Did I enter the water before it split? You have everything you need to lead these people. And the truth is, You will succeed or fail based on how well you work with each other, how well you can see each other and realize that your fates are eternally intertwined. The truth is, I do not control this particular plague. There is a lot I do not control. Do you really think I'd have half of the shows on the Bravo TV network if I was in charge? I don't really control who will live and who will die. Why do you all chant that every year? And as painful as it is for me to say, it is impossible that no person will ever be able to look directly into my eyes ever again.
But your glory, I've never seen anything quite like it. How will I know you without your glory? What is our relationship without seeing each other?
You will not be able to see my face, but here's what I will do. I will leave my computer logged in with the camera turned off. You can come here and sit with me in prayer and in quiet. You can sing to me, learn with me. I would love for you to show me the ways you improve the world.
How will we know you're listening? I'm not going to be able to hear you as clearly as I did before. What if I miss a critical detail?
It will be different now. You have each other to figure it out. I promise even when I turn my camera off, I will be with you. I will be laughing and crying and watching you tend and till my world.
Suddenly, the screen froze. Moses and God had been temporarily disconnected. Moses left the tent of meeting, and the world felt dark. He knew that he would no longer be able to look directly into God's eyes, but rather he would get to see exactly what God saw through God's own camera. Moses began to weep, this time tears of joy, because he knew that everything was going to be okay.